Hey everyone, we're here with GP from BBH and he brought some really cool products. What is BBH all about?
BBH is a manufacturer that's been around a long time. We represent a world of brands, and then part of that is brands like Terra, Horizon, Berry & Boulerise, Work Tough, and some other ones that we've had in the past. And the company's been, in infancy since 1975, with two different owners basically coming together into one. It started off from our roots with rope and hardware type rope, so polypropylene rope on reels, and as well as a glove company kind of going side by side and meeting together in 2005 and joining the names together, Berry & Boulerise and Horizon.
So I see we got some gloves laid out here. Do we want to quickly go through what you got going on here? We
can start from this side. This one particularly is an interesting one because it is a PU glove. But particularly, it is a glove that is what we in the industry call DMF free.
I've heard of that, and it seems to be a trending topic. So what exactly is DMF free?
DMF is a problem. It is for gloves. Anybody who wears gloves, it could be a health concern, and it causes irritation. It smells like ammonia, so that's how you can kind of identify it. And why DMF is introduced into gloves? It's for adhering the coatings to the fabric itself. And so some manufacturers like ourselves, we have gloves that are DMF free. We sanitize our gloves. So we even mark that on some of our styles, basically identifying that we've cleaned them properly. And sure, it might cost a little bit more to do that, but the value is you're avoiding skin irritation issues, other major health issues, and some workarounds from if you don't have a DMF free glove, because they're not very common, is to make sure you wash the gloves before using them. And that's one way you can do your own thing on your own side to prevent an issue.
That's really interesting. Yeah, it's definitely a trending topic, and I've heard some stories, especially when your hands are sweating all day and they're interacting with the material of the glove. So we're seeing a lot of people that have irritation or rashes, and we don't even think to, check or look at our gloves. And now we're seeing innovation in the glove industry. So it's really cool to see that you guys are doing that.
Yes.
It's interesting how the process of making the gloves goes through those stages that we don't really think about.
Yeah, absolutely. It's actually, if you ever see a manufacturing process, how the gloves go through formers and then drying, there's secondary steps to that. And as manufacturing, sometimes corners are cut, but particularly BBH, we have styles, more than 5, that have the sanitized feature. And so we do care about that, and we incorporate it on our PVC gloves, our PU gloves, our coated gloves with a nitro coating. And we advertise it saying that it's sanitized, so that makes a difference too.
So what exactly is a PU glove?
PU is polyurethane, so it's one of my favorite coatings. Basically, it gives you a secondhand feel. This one particularly is a water-based polyurethane. That means it is a DMF-free polyurethane. There are different styles of polyurethane, of course. And basically, it gives you a secondhand feel. So the whole purpose of wearing the gloves, protect your hands, but you also want to have the dexterity you want to have as if you're not wearing a glove. And that's the whole purpose of PU coating.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. Dexterity has been a big talking point too, because people want to be able to do the job they need to perform. And if they're not comfortable, they may actually decide not to wear their glove.
Or it makes your fingers overly tired, and after 8 hours of working in gloves, yeah, absolutely. You want to have gloves that are comfortable and they actually do the job.
So these ones here, the PU is referring to the coating on the glove or the material?
Just the coating. And the backing, this one particularly is HPPE, high performance polyethylene. It's a very common shell for different cut gloves. This one particularly is an A4, but manufacturing has changed since I would say around 2015, manufacturing in the Far East, where these gloves are mostly made. If you guys think back to those times, gloves were still overly cumbersome. Modern, but overly cumbersome. Nowadays, they have gloves that are thin gauge and able to get the same output level of cut resistance. So how they do that is incorporating different fibers. So they'll put in steel, or they'll put in a combination of different fibers, and that makes the glove still cut resistant, thinner, better hand dexterity in the fingers. And there's a lot of ways to bring value to gloves and showing value. basically you can measure everything. You can measure performance. You can measure efficiency. You can measure comfort. You can measure cost per use, waste management. And so, these are experiments you guys can go through with your customers and kind of create those value and show in front of them by facts.
So what is an application you might see this particular glove in?
You'll find in construction, it's very common because of the A4. That's one side, but manufacturing as well. Anywhere they're touching tools or little bits that they want to have that dexterity in and out without actually sticking the hand to the glove. There are certain coatings like nitrile can be very tacky. It can be a good thing in certain applications, but in the wrong place, it can actually be a problem because then now the glove's coming off with the application. Whereas PU is more of a secondhand feel. So it gives you the ability to move around without having an issue of the glove coming off.
We should try these on.
Yeah.
Can we get a hand model in here? So Austin, what does this glove feel like?
Well, right off the bat, honestly, like
Cool.
it definitely has a little bit of thickness to it, but I can still feel like I'd be able to get a bit of like dexterity on it. So if I did need to pick up like a nail or stuff, it'd be good.
Yep.
And I really like the grip.
Yeah, so this style is particularly older manufacturing, 13 gauge. A little bit still thicker because it's 13 gauge, but the coating itself is very efficient. As I mentioned, it's an A4 for construction, so it is a standardized cut level for a construction environment. But that's by the industry from the 11 GCs that are the major contractors for subcontractors and contractors. Try this one instead. It's not a cut glove, but this one is the same gauge or thickness as the modern manufacturing. So this is let's think back. This is 2015, and this is 2020. Okay, how's that feel compared?
This feels a lot better. Definitely feels a lot better. I mean, I feel like, well, I guess that is an XL as well. I think it'd be about a large.
Yep.
But this one definitely fits a little tighter.
Yes.
And I like the grip around.
It's a thinner gauge. So in a cut level, it would offer the same cut resistance. Let's assume this was an A4. It would offer you the same cut resistance and give you the better comfort, dexterity.
Is the difference between, so you had PU and then this one is
So
nitrile?
this one's nitrile, okay? So if it's a flat nitrile, so basically it gives you a tacky grip, right? That's not moving very much. It's great for guys that depending what they're doing, if they're holding something that's important of value, they don't want to drop it. You would wear these gloves because the grip allows you to have that contact resistance. And there are other coatings where they have pores in them, so that allows you to work with wet objects. And of course, there's other coatings like silicone. There's sandy nitrile for abrasion. There's many different types of coatings and gloves. It all depends on the job. What's the application? What are you doing for work? And then we can kind of gauge what's the best option for coating.
Thank you, Austin.
No problem. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
So what do you recommend to companies when trying to determine what is the right glove for them?
First, I want to look at all the factors. So are there any risks involved? Maybe there's been past injuries. Maybe you have lost time to injury reports that I can look at and kind of examine those too. But yeah, kind of understanding, okay, so, and then what are you doing in the type of work? So let's say, let's say you worked in a manufacturing line and you were handling parts and just moving them down the line and making sure that everything flows without falling off. I would examine that, and is there any cut risk? No? Okay, then I don't need a cut glove. Or if there is, then you would want to wear a cut glove. Or are you cutting boxes with a box knife after, or packaging, whatever it might be. Some applications you can get away with just consolidating. If you don't need 2 or 3 different styles, you can go with 1 or 2, and easier to manage from a SKU perspective and inventory as well.
I like it. So we want to look at things like, what are the hazards? Is there, cut protection needed? Is there chemicals?
Yes.
You want to look at the environment. Is it wet?
Yep.
Is it
Humid.
dry?
Yep.
So those are all things that people can look
How,
at.
how long they're wearing gloves for a day, that changes, use over time as well.
When is it time to change gloves?
As soon as they start to show wear and tear, that's what I would say.
What are
Because
the common areas on a glove that wear and tear?
oh, this one's my favorite. So most common is actually the thumb crotch between the index finger and the.
Is that the technical term?
That is the thumb, yes. So it is that extra rubbery part that usually you find on some gloves. That's the most common. Secondary to that, you might get the fingers, depending on the coatings. They might have more abrasion than others. Also depends on the work, what you're handling as well. But as soon as you start to see deterioration, change them, throw them out, and get a new pair.
I really like these red ones. Tell me what's going on with these. These are A6?
These are an A6. They're made for the glass industry. It's one of my favorite gloves. It is not a very common coating. It's actually very unique to BBH. It is silicone, so one of the reasons why this coating is unique is it gives you a super tacky, this is tacky, that is like super glue for gloves. And so if you're handling glass and things like that, it will, one, be non-marring, so it won't show fingers on the actual surfaces, but it'll also give you the grip that you need and the cut resistance. So as a general standard for glass handling, A6 is where you should be in wearing cut gloves.
I really like them. Yeah, they feel really nice, and that I've never felt anything quite like that. It definitely has a unique stickiness to it.
And naturally, because it's silicone, it also has some heat protective abilities as well.
I love it. And so what do we got here? These big orange ones.
So these big orange ones, particularly I brought this one to show off the sanitized on the PVC, because that's a different coating. We talked about PU. PVC is another situation for DMF. But that one particularly is high vis. You can see it on a job. It's great for chemicals, oils, solvents of that sort. And because it's high vis, you'll be able to see on a job site whether guys are wearing their gloves or not, and that's important. It's also a safety feature because it has a gauntlet. So if you're wearing the glove, you can flick off and get out of them. There are different gauntlet styles. There's longer ones, there's cuffs, but gauntlet that's open is for that purpose, to flick off. There, you guys saw something cool there.
Love it. Very cool.
Yeah.
Now, what do we got here? This looks super cool. Is this an impact glove?
It is an impact glove. So this is the direction that BBH is heading. Gloves have gone through cycles. So they've gone from, we started here in 2015, remember back in 2015, okay? They're old manufacturing, getting into modern manufacturing, still consumable glove business that's going around, but now we're getting to more of the robust style gloves where you have impact ratings on the TPR, that's a thermoplastic rubber. You have cut resistance, so this one particularly is an A7, and it's also a welding glove, so it's an arc flash glove. Oh, wow. And it was designed for heavy duty work. So this one particularly is a summer style, but we also have the winter one with the winter insulation. There are a lot of competitor gloves that are out there. They're very expensive. So BBH is heading into that direction, but offering a little bit of savings with the same style quality.
Okay, and so is this leather?
That is a genuine leather, yep, goatskin, rubber TPR for impact. Anywhere that they can bang their hands on the back, it's rated for impact 2.
Okay, so how does impact work actually? Because this is not necessarily, this is just for accidents, right? If something falls on it or you bump something.
Yep, anything that's hitting the TPR, it's measured. Depends on the thickness of the TPR, what level it hits. 2 is in the middle. It's a pretty good range for protection from impact. So, it's often common anywhere there's a job where they might be banging their hands. So a great example is handling big drums of chemicals. And then when they come close to each other, you're always going to have where the 55-gallon drum might sit against the other one, and that's what protects your hand from the impact.
Cool.
That's a great example because it's a visual one.
I love that. And these ones are really small. What's going on here?
So I brought those just to show the history. The company sits along and behind its brands where it should be. BBH is often in the backdrop because our brands are very strong. Terra is very strong. Horizon is very strong.
I love it. And this means that your kids can garden with you or get to work and start them young.
Absolutely. And there's not many gloves or manufacturers out there that have kids gloves and bringing your kids to work day. So that's a great little interesting piece that we have in our offering.
All right, well, we'll wrap it up there. GP, thank you so much for coming in and bringing in all these cool products. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you.
Thanks so much. This was so much fun and appreciate being here.
Of course. And to check out BBH products, go to internationalsafety.com. Thank you so much for watching. and we'll see you in the next one.